You know, it seems like this year these celebrities they just dropping like flies. And when it comes to the news and how it's reported, it almost seems like it's always inconspicuous. Where you have these commonalities between these celebrity deaths. Brandon Clark, he also died at the age of 29 just randomly. And they said that with Tay Keith in this situation, there was a report where there was a welfare check or something like that. And it's just interesting because with like two other deaths that happened in other years, recent years, with Rich Homie Quan, I think there was a welfare check with him as well as Michael K. Williams. So it's just interesting when you hear about these welfare checks with these celebrities that just die in their hotel rooms or whatever, or in their homes, just unknowingly. And there's like really vague information that's reported on it. When it comes to those type of situations, that lets you know that it was most likely sacrificial. It was most likely something that was esoteric, something that was significant when it comes to the numerology. You know, Tay Keith, he died at the age of 29. 29 representing 99. 99 also represents death, as well as, you know, the understanding of 66 being the sacrificial number for Molech. And then when you look at the year 2026 with the fire horse and how, you know, the NBA finals correlated with the 1999 NBA finals, so 9-9 and 2-6. 2-6 is 6-6, 9-9, interchangeable. And, you know, I say these things and sometimes people probably hear it and they say, oh, you know, he's just going too far with it. He's too conspiratorial and this and that. You have to understand, when it comes to the upper levels, these people, they put these things in high regard. Numerology, the alchemical understanding, esotericism, occultism, the Masonic, they really hold these things in high regard. That's why you see them throw the hand signs up. That's why you see them pose in certain ways, because it's based in veneration of their gods. That's what it is. They hold it in high regard. They have to. They have to. So it's important for us to understand why you see these things, and, you know, sometimes you see the pattern and how it matches up numerologically, excuse me. And you understand that it's more than meets the eye with the story. 33, 26, 29, 27, so on and so forth. It means a lot to the people at large when it comes to the ones who, you know, control these things. And, you know, you don't really see them. They act behind a curtain. These things don't just happen. At least in my understanding, my perspective, my belief. You know, when you in that world, you know, you're subject to sacrifice. You're subject to giving yourself over. Take off. Even his name, he had a nomen omen. His name represented him, you know, ascending. Just when it comes to that concept and that system. And I think it was the welfare check with Takeoff as well. For the most part, it's always inconspicuous when it comes to these deaths. Car crash, car accident, found in a hotel room, overdose, you know. And, you know, even when it's reported early on, for the most part, they always give you vague information. They don't really tell you the full, even though you would think that, you know, at first hand, you would get the full information. And in some cases, it's understandable, but it just seems like it's been, you know, it's been a lot of that. It's been like a redundancy, you know. But man, it just seemed like these celebrities, they just dropping like flies. Now, these are some notable celebrities who've died at the age of 29. As you can see, Tay Keith, you can see Atika, I don't know who that is, a YouTube star. He died in the year 2019. Brandon Clark, obviously. Hank Williams Sr., who died in, I think, 1953. Lee Thompson Young, he died in 2013. We already know 213. 2 times 13 is 26. So 26 and 29. Interchangeable. And a great example of this is a communicative aspect of J.Cole's album, just when it comes to the track list. Not the content, but just the track list. A great example of it is J. Cole's album, The Fall Off. 29 represents completion, finality, an allusion to death. The Fall Off has that all over it, just when it comes to that album and the content thereof. But when it comes to the communication of it with the track list, its base is covered just in regards to the meaning. There's a reason why that album came out at the top of 2026. So I just wanted to get into that album in regards to the communicative aspect, excuse me. You see, the reason why the Fall Off came out at the top of the year is because not only did J.Cole want to release the album based off of, being long awaited, but also because of what number 26 represents in this year, 2026, as well as it being interchangeable with the number 29 and 99. And you have the numerological bent throughout the album in regards to the track listing. Because J. Cole is a Luciferian. You have to be a Luciferian in order for you to be at a level of a J. Cole, Drake, Kendrick Lamar. Any rapper that's at that level, you have to be a Luciferian. You have to communicate these things, through your art, through your music videos, so on and so forth. So this is why you see it. And, everything in conjunction makes sense when it comes to the meaning, the fall off, an allusion to death per se in regards to the understanding of 99 or 29. 29 is 99. 99 represents near completion, finality, the transitioning of cycles. That's what it represents. And when it comes to their belief system in regards to death, they believe they transition, So you have these concepts that align. And this is why you have these albums that release on certain dates and whatnot, especially when it comes to certain figures like a J. Cole. He released this album on February 6th, 2/6, right? Also, the song you have right here is 29 Intro, which is the intro to the album, letting you know that it all comes from that understanding. That's the center. 29 Intro just kicks off the understanding right there. Just when it comes to the communication aspect, not necessarily like on the song, not necessarily on the content, but more so like being able to pick up what you see when it comes to the numerological bit. 29 Intro, 99, right? And then you get to 26, 66, which is more like 66 and 99, both interchangeable, right? And then you go further down and you see 39. We already know that 39 is 999, interchangeable with 666, right? Now this right here is important because this mixtape right here, Birthday Blizzard, which is hosted by DJ Clue, this came out right before the Fall Off album. And one specific title track represents the numerological bent in regards to the number 99, 29, 26, so on and so forth. 99 Build Freestyle, which he rapped over on the Money Power Respect beat. 99 represents completion. It represents near fulfillment, the transitioning of cycles, rebirth per se. It's different than the number 11, which represents rebirth, because it's more about the transitioning of cycles and awakening and whatnot, even though that's what number 11 represents as well. But number 99 is more to it than just spiritual awakening. It's also about the cycles and the near fulfillment, because it comes before the number 100. So when you look at the Fall Off, you have this 2-9 concept throughout, 2-6 concept throughout, goes into the number 99. And this is an indicator in regards to the precursor for the album. J. Cole is an esotericist. He's a numerologist. He understands these things. And they communicate these things with their art. So number 99, it represents the understanding of completion. This is why you have the Fall Off. Fall Off represents completion, finality, and the nearing end of cycles. The nearing end, that's why he says that it might be something coming after, which lets you know that this is the near end to the completion, because that's what number 99 represents. The transitioning of a new beginning through cycles. Number 99. That's why you have the song 99 Build. And then we go into the Fall Off, which you see the number 29 and 26 and 39, which is 666, so on and so forth. And also the album coming out on 2/6, all purposeful. It's not just about where he's from in regards to, 2-6 in North Carolina. It's deeper than that, and we already understand that. In occultism, numerology, and mysticism, the number 99 is deeply tied to the concepts of ultimate completion, spiritual awakening, and the transition between cycles. Because it is a double amplification of the number 9, it signifies that a massive phase in your life or soul's journey has come to its natural end, the fall off. That's why he kicked off the album with 29 intro, because it's a thinly veiled representation of the number 99. And also why, the precursor for the album, which was the Birthday Blizzard mixtape, the last song on there is 99 Build. It's a reason why it's placed at that, at the end of the mixtape. It's a segue to the fall off. That's why it came before the fall off on 2-6, 266699. That's what it is. That's how they communicate, because they hold these things in high regard. Making room for new beginnings. And this is why he's hinting at a new project coming out after the fall off, which should be his last. Because the 99, it represents near fulfillment, but also completion in regards to new beginnings when it comes to that near fulfillment. So that's why number 99 is, prominent just on a thinly veiled level.